Oh yes, this is Rich, off the Lost Demos EP. We redefining what rich is, y'all. Now I was born with the nature of a driven man. If I could dream it, I could reach it, gotta thank my dad. And when the odds are against, step up and knock it to the fence. Push away all the doubt that is coming at you. Who could blame me
for trying to reach those stars?
And who could blame me
for trying to top those charts?
I've always heard that presidents can't buy love, and all the riches of the world ain't ever gonna be enough. Now I know I'll have my critics, but I'ma step up to the mic and admit it. Said I know I'll have my critics, but I'ma step up and admit it. I wanna be rich, oh I wanna be rich. I wanna move on up, see just how sweet it is. I wanna be rich in love, rolling deep, loaded in friends and family. Rich, Lord, I wanna be rich. So let's stack it up. So let's stack it up.
Hey, welcome to At the Table. I'm Jay, and we got with us
Daniel.
So Ray's not with us today. We're this kind of multi-part series here on how do you measure a life. And Ray's out of town, and we had to film on a day when he was out of town because something special was happening, which we referred to last week. Group of gentlemen. What do you know about it? Tell us what they were doing.
Group of gentlemen from Front Street showed up and surrounded another family from Front Street that is in a moment of needing a bit of God's love and light shine into a different corner of their life. And so these men showed up and built a tree house for a young boy that has been wanting one and will experience the joy of Christ and community and being surrounded from that act of love, giving, and service that those men did last week.
We noticed that in this kind of series of messages and conversations we're having is about how do you measure a life. Mm-hmm. And as Ray is preaching each week, he's focusing 1 week at a time on love, give, and serve. Yeah. And Ray's trying to make it very clear that that's how you measure a life at the end of the day. Love, give, and serve. And that's what the Christian journey is. And there's a myriad of ways you can love. There's a myriad of ways you can give and serve. And I'm sure in his messages each week, he'll kind of get into the details of this. But one thing that we want to get to up front is that loving, giving, and serving is not just acts where you think of like, what would be the most difficult sacrifice I could make today?
Right.
Let's go do that. Love, serve, and give also can operate in a realm that you already love, that you already enjoy.
Yeah.
Right? None of the gentlemen who are out there are like miserable.
Right.
They're doing something they already enjoy.
Right.
And they're doing it in a way where they're giving and they're serving a family, right? So there's a double love. There's a love for that family, but there's a love of getting to build something.
Offering.
There's a love for building, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, there's sacrifice involved, but the bigger picture is that's how you live a rich life, loving, giving, and serving. Yeah. And that we've got to push back all the other things that compete for a spot at the table of what makes a good life, right? We got to push back on those.
Yeah.
And so in this metaphor of building a treehouse, the thing we're trying to pinpoint is that there are details on how they built this treehouse that were intentional.
Yep.
Not an accident in any way, shape, or form. And as a result, they got the thing they wanted.
Yeah.
When you step back at the end of it, all four gentlemen who built it, they left with a smile on their face. Yeah. And they should. Yeah. And so much so that they even went to the front yard of the house and started cleaning up extra limbs all laying around, right? It was life-giving to them, so much so that they actually even had more to give.
Yeah. And I think some of that intentionality, like we touched on last week a little bit, is paying attention and showing up. But it's also preparing, being careful.
I mean, it sounds like such basic stuff, but it's more than that.
Yeah, but I also think that the more than that is the sum of it. It's the sum of the small things. Yes. And I think that's some of what we're talking about in measuring.
Small thing, big effect is really what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, and so I think some of that, to make it even more explicitly theological, like the paying attention and showing up is saying, how might God be at work in the people around me, or how might God be calling me to work alongside God in being the hands and feet of Jesus by loving, giving, and serving. And so you have to have an attentiveness to the people and the places and the needs around you. There's some ways in which God is orchestrating these things and preparing our hearts and our gifts to be shared and poured out for someone else.
That's right.
And some of that is that big sacrifice we've been talking about, but oftentimes it's just
So I love watching them measure boards.
yeah.
Like, because when you measure boards, a really good builder and woodworker, they know what that line means. Like that line, that line, when someone measures and marks something, they know whether you're supposed to cut through that line or cut to the left of that line or the right of that line.
Yeah.
Like measuring, you just think it's, okay, it's 24 inches, whatever.
Right.
No, it's not that simple. But it's a really fascinating thing, the number of ways measuring can go wrong.
Wrong.
Too wide, yeah. You just gotta.
83 and 8.
I'm just saying, measuring is a pretty sophisticated thing.
Yeah.
Right? Watch somebody measure once and cut it 8 times.
Right.
And exasperation, and then they go through multiple boards and they got to go back to the store. That's not a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Right.
And I think some of what helps it be that precise measurement is the second set of eyes. And I don't know if
Yes.
Steve had
Yes.
somebody else with him.
11.
Oh, you're measuring the other way. Yeah.
We put 11 here because it's 22 to here. So 11 will be middle
On center.
on center.
Yeah.
Can't see on center. Well, I'm telling you. Let's tell you.
The other thing I found really fascinating was when we were there early and they had the 4 posts in the ground, getting those foundations set, the amount of time that they're like picky about getting the
Yeah.
foundation blocks set.
Yeah.
That was no joke. Like, because you look at it and you're like, that's good enough. And they were like removing it and redoing it
Yep.
and sliding it over. Like,
After I did all these 4 of these yesterday.
Inches up. If not, well, this is. If not, he can probably drive it.
So it's no problem.
Well, David's got to go in this thing anyway. There you go.
hey, did it work?
When we started patching that other set, we got to all be happy that we're square and plumb on each corner. Okay, so we'll kind of borrow from each corner until we're happy with what we got.
What happens if you don't take this part seriously?
You want everything from a distance to look plumb and level and square. You have to take the right step at the right time. So when I laid it out on a perfectly flat surface. Well, we're not working on a perfectly flat surface. So you have to be able to adapt to this situation at hand.
I'll say it's got to go
Outstanding.
that way. It depends on what that one is.
Exactly.
So. Ooh. That.
No.
Uh-huh.
On the foundation in particular, they were willing to do that as many times as it took
Right.
without being exasperated.
Right.
You said, that's a grown up. Do you see what I'm saying? Like checking the foundation, making sure the foundation is where it needs to be, how it needs to be.
strong.
Dude, they just,
And
yeah.
and I think to lean into the foundation metaphor, like the foundation of this treehouse makes all the difference. Its strength and cohesion makes all the difference for the product that is sitting on top of it.
I mean,
the thing they
it's
are
everything.
measuring,
It's everything.
and the fruit of the labor.
Okay.
And so, in the life of a Christian,
Yes,
the
that's where I was
foundation,
going.
the foundation that we need to have to be able to eventually love, give, and serve is to have people pour that into us, but also for us to receive that from the God that is extending it.
Back in Jesus' day, there were at least 5, maybe 7 different groups that
Yeah.
thought they were doing it right.
Yeah,
They would have all argued for a different foundation.
right.
Right? So you'd have the Sadducees, you have the Pharisees, you have scribes, you have
Yeah.
teachers of law, you have Essenes, John the Baptist, you have Sicarii, which we think Judas could have been one of those.
Yeah.
They were named Sicarii because of the daggers. They walked around
Yeah.
with a dagger with that name. And you had Zealots, Simon the Zealot.
Yep.
Right? You had this whole breadth of people, all of them would have argued in favor of got to get the foundation right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They all would have argued you got to get the foundation right.
Yes.
Correct. There are that many groups that would all talk about the importance of getting the right foundation, but they all had different foundations. And how do we get the right foundation?
Right.
They were taking the time to make sure that physically in this world they got the right foundation, right? But what's your suggestion on, as a Christian, how to make sure you get the right foundation?
This grace and love that is being poured into us and we are receiving can overflow in acts of love, giving, and service. And then we can have a well-measured life as faithful disciples.
You know, as you're saying that, what pops in my head is that one of the ways you would know the foundation is good is that by the time you get to the top of that thing,
It's sturdy.
it's sturdy, right? It's good. It
stands.
holds up the test of time, right? Like when Kincaid walks up it, it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
What does this foundation produce?
Right.
If this foundation produces things that are antithetical to the person of Jesus Christ,
Right.
that's not a good foundation.
Right.
And part of the problem is we get addicted to being right.
Yep.
And we have a really hard time
Yep.
like ever saying we're not right about something. We can serve this dream of being right even more than the person of Jesus. We're all every single
Guilty as
every single denomination and non-denominational Christians are vulnerable to that, of being right more so than being like Jesus. All of these, it seems to me, that comes back to the person of Jesus Christ. And Ray has suggested in this series that the ways you see that lived out is in Jesus loving people. All of them. Every one of them.
Everyone.
He's loving the rich young ruler who walks away from him.
Yep.
He's loving that guy. He's loving all of them.
Yep.
And like he is actively loving them. And then he's giving, and then he's serving. And those seem to be the things that if we can't we can't let everything else crowd those out. We can't let other things cloud our vision.
Yep.
That if we can see those. So, all right. Well, hopefully this is at least enjoyable. At least you've seen maybe some good footage of woodworking in the middle of this. So thank you, Daniel. Thanks for just firing back and forth with me on this. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Hopefully this is enjoyable and meaningful for you. And we'll be back next week, continuing to talk about how to measure a life with love through loving, serving, and giving.
Yep. See y'all later.
Did I tell you, baby, you are the joy of my life?